So I've been thinking for a long time, like the road for success and what that entails. People always see people from where they are now relative to where they are now, and they don't look at what it took to get there. I've been an editor for close to 15 years, nearly now. You know, I've been rejected from jobs, I've had heartbreak, I've suffered through so many things that have led me down this road. And yeah, looking back at where you've come from, but also not letting that kind of hold you back from going further. You know, like that kind of, you know what I'm trying to say. So
yeah, I think people get intimidated when they hear time scale as well. You know, they hear that they hear like, oh, Sam's been editing for 15 years. Like, I may as well not even try. You're only 26. Yeah. like yeah. Gary Vee would be like, you're young as fuck. You know, like
exactly.
And people have been, you know, a lot of people have been working on things way longer than they really think about when they really look back. Yeah. So
I think patience is the single ingredient that is missing from every single success story. And people say how, oh, I tried and it didn't work. Well, I get this question a lot. It's like, you know, Sam, I'm doing what you're saying. I'm uploading videos to YouTube. I'm making more content. I'm not seeing results, man. I think you're wrong.
And they're 4 videos in.
You know, you always watch Powerpuff Girls?
I have, yeah.
You know, it's sugar, spice, and everything nice. I think it's hard work, patience, and perseverance. That's the thing. Yeah, that's the recipe for success.
I think people are thinking, man, I just lack chemical X, right? They see people they see people who have 1 million subscribers on YouTube, and they say that person has something that I could never have, or that I wasn't born with, when that is simply not true.
Chemical X is you.
Yes.
That's the thing. Your niche isn't some, you know, long lost scroll buried in the pyramid somewhere. Your thing is not like, you know, your niche isn't a thing that you should spend years meditating on. It's you. That's your niche. The things you like, the things you enjoy, the things you enjoy making, that's your niche. You know, make it, but make it good enough that you will like. If you enjoy watching it from other people, you should make it. That is pretty much the simplest solution for things. Is if you enjoy watching somebody make the things that you enjoy, you should make it and share it off and do the same thing.
Some of my favorite Gary Vee that I've ever heard was he said, you should find out what it is that you have to be doing that allows you to breathe. He said, I couldn't breathe if I weren't doing business. I was born to be a businessman. He said, when my friends were out building snowmen, I was seeing whose driveway I could shovel to make a little bit of cash.
For money, exactly.
I was seeing, you know, when summer came around, when the flowers were blooming and people were enjoying the flowers, I was picking flowers and selling them to my neighbors. Like he said, I was born to do business. I can't breathe unless I'm a businessman. And there are people who cannot breathe unless they're making YouTube videos, unless they're doing Twitch streams, unless they're writing, unless they're doing art. And they're going and working at Walmart or working at an office for 9 hours out of their day or 10 hours out of their day, coming home and maybe doing an hour of what they love and saying, man, I just wish I had more time to do this. And doing that for 40 years, you know, doing that for 40 or 50 years now. Especially in America with retirement completely bonked, it's going to be like 60 years, you know? And so, and I really, my goal now, ever since I've heard that and ever since I've realized that, my goal has been to get people to understand that doesn't have to be them. That doesn't have to be anybody. I think everybody has the potential, or I think anybody, I should say, has the potential to do what they love for a living and with their life. And I want to communicate that to as many people as possible.
I think it comes down to, it's a double-edged sword, though, in my opinion, from what I've experienced. And it's sad to say this, and it's true. The majority, I'd say 99% of people who watch this podcast or listen to this podcast, 99% of people won't do it.
That's exactly right.
They won't do it because they lack either patience, they lack either the work ethic to do it, or they lack the desire to want to do more. Like that kind of burning urge to do it. There's a difference between business content creators that are business people and content creators that are just doing it for a hobby. And that's fine. If you're doing it just for a hobby, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're doing it to succeed as a career and you're complaining about not getting the viewers you need or getting the money you need or whatever, and you're sitting there, you're one of those people that's sitting there and you're going, man, why is no one watching my stream? I bet you it's those people. You're the problem. Like, that's the thing. So, and so many people have that mentality, and I want to say that kind of that perspective on the way the world works. It's slight entitlement, I will admit, but it's also work ethic and thinking that they can just get where they want to get to because the platform handed them on a dish. That isn't the case at all.
Self-awareness, even.
Think outside it for a second. What if you put a video up on TikTok that plugged your Twitch channel and it got 1 million views overnight? What would happen to your viewership on Twitch then? What do you think? If your TikTok blows up and you get 1 million views, if less than 1% of that comes through, you're set for life.
It's 1,000 viewers.
It's 1,000 viewers.
1%, yeah.
1% of them, and TikTok and all those platforms are such shareable places for content that they're not utilized in the right way. So I don't think they're still utilized in the right way now.
Yeah.
And TikTok is still blowing up. So like,
that's right.
Imagine if somebody, I mean, look at what happened to Vine in its later days before it got, the button got pushed.
Yeah.
You had people like King Bach, you had, Logan Paul, you had obviously Harris as well.
I was about to say Harris.
We were making content that on this platform that was 7 seconds, and it captivated people so much more than some long form content on YouTube. And it was incredible to see that. People that take advantage of those other platforms are going to see a massive advantage on others.
When one takes all the responsibility onto themselves, you say, I am responsible for every success that comes to me. It isn't luck. And I'm responsible for every failure that I encounter. It isn't unluck, or it isn't misfortune. Then it's freeing. It's absolutely freeing, because you realize that
you're in control.
Everything is part of your control.
100%. The good, the bad, the ugly. Everything is under your control. And when I say, sure, you getting into a car accident might not be your control.
Sure.
All right. Yeah, it might be the other driver. But your reaction to said accident, your reaction to the negative that happens in your world, is in your control. You
1,000%.
getting a dip in viewership. What do? Are you going to mope about it, or are you going to go ahead and work on a new piece of content that can bring in another 100 more viewers? What do? Do you look at it from a perspective of loss or gain? Like, I'll give you an example. A friend of mine who recently had an issue, I'm going to bring it up, and I hope they're okay bringing it up. I'm not going to mention any names, but
sure.
They had an issue where they dealt with a client that cheated them out of some money. They cheated them out of some money. They weren't very happy about it. They spent all this time and work learning a new program. They spent time learning, After Effects, Premiere. They learned how to use Stream Elements and all this stuff. They built these things for this person, and they got cheated out of money. And they came back and they were talking to me about it. And I said, I feel like I've lost time. Like, I feel like I've lost the time that I could have spent on my own stuff. I feel like I've lost time. And I said, you didn't lose anything. You may have lost money, but at the end of the day, money can always, come back in other ways. And I think what you've learned and what you've done is more valuable than money could have been.
Yeah.
Because what you've done is you've learned how to use After Effects, you learn how to use Premiere, you learn how to use Stream Elements, you learn how to do all these skill sets that you can now go and apply into your own stuff.
And you learn how to deal with a terrible client.
Exactly. It's give you then kind of like, okay, that's what that guy looks like. I'm not going to go with that person again. I'm going to try this next time to secure myself and protect myself against something like that happening again. You've learned a lesson. You've learned something. You've gained experience, right? And from that perspective, from that kind of change of perspective, like, oh, I've lost time, but instead I've gained a skill. That skill now, they can now go and approach other clients and say, I can do that for you. This is how much I charge.
Exactly. I think video games have skewed how we perceive experience, because I think we think of experience as something you only gain from success, when in reality, I think failure is what or something going not your way.
That's a good little,
that really gives you the experience that's useful.
People are so hung up on the end result, and they are so focused on getting it now, getting it quick, and that's kind of the blame of social media again. It's like people want it instantly, and seeing people online
and survivorship bias like that.
But at the same time, like, I do kind of use that end goal tactic as a bit of a belief system for like tracking success and kind of using it to kind of push yourself forward. I mean, like, focusing on like the end goal isn't a bad thing, but it's just how people observe it and treat it can be treated better, can be observed better,
Absolutely.
Can be turned around and reconstructed in a way that's like, okay, I want to be successful. Instead of going, I want that, start thinking, I am that. And it's a very change of perspective. It's a very deep change of perspective, because it's okay, well, what would a successful person do at that point? Like, if I was successful today, if I had 1 million subscribers today, what would I do? Honestly, going to ask you now, probably not a lot different. I'd still wake up, I'd still drink coffee, I'd still interact with the people that I interact with, but I would think about business in a different way. I'd still react to getting a negative video or a couple of negative comments in a different way. I would react differently. I would think differently. I would see the world differently. Like wearing that suit. So like wear success like a suit, you know, wear it every single day and treat every good and bad thing as an opportunity to react differently to the world from that point in space. And it's just, yeah, that works out for you. As I use that analogy all the time, and it's very much a thing that everyone kind of pretty much loves in my stream, which is like they never see it from that angle, you know, thinking of something rather from something is a change of perspective. It's very subtle, but it's an effective shift. But from that, so it's quickly to add, is from that, once you've seen where you are going, it's easier to work backwards from that. If you see stuff with 1 million subscribers, you know that the next step to do that is to make more videos. You know, the next step to that is to produce videos that are going to be better. So then from there, you can go, to make more videos, I need more time. So what I'll do is I'll reduce my stream time down to 3 days a week, and I'll use that spare time to make and edit videos. I'll actually go on YouTube now and I'll learn about video editing. I'll learn how to use this camera that I've just bought. I'll learn how to use a microphone. I will use my stream time to also make content in, and you completely change the structure in which you make videos, in which you produce content, because you've gone from thinking of wanting to get success to thinking from it. You go, right, from that point, looking back, how do I get there? Well, you just track it backwards. You know, you look backwards from it.